Hey, this is Kenny from Kenny's Audiophile Record Reviews. Thank you very much for being on my channel. Please like and subscribe. I sincerely appreciate that. In this video, I'm going to show you the Jazz SACDs in my CD collection. The Jazz SACDs in my CD collection. Now, this does not include the Jazz CDs, because if I were to include the Jazz CDs, which I have an awful lot of them, we'd be here for quite a long time. So I'm going to restrict it to this short amount or small amount of Jazz SACDs, which I do not have a lot of them. I love the sound of SACDs. They're really fabulous, and they're really great to listen to. So we're going to get into some Jazz SACDs and show you the ones that I have in my collection. And I'm going to start with this one, Miles Smiles by Brother Miles Davis. This is a fabulous SACD that includes Miles Davis on trumpet, Herbie Hancock tenor sax, Wayne Shorter bass, Herbie Hancock piano, and Tony Williams drums. I especially love the playing of Tony Williams on this SACD. And I have the original album, several other sources of that same record. There's a particular, and some of these are still sealed, especially some of my SHM SACDs. I'm going to show you some SHM SACDs as well. This is Patricia Barber 5.1 surround super audio CD. And if you hear some noise in the background, that's my neighbors. I think they're gardeners out there doing some yard work. So sorry about that. One of the best jazz albums of all time, and I have this on SACD, and have a reissue of this album. It sounds quite good. The Shape of Jazz to Come by Ornette Coleman. Fabulous free jazz album. Miles in the Sky, around the start of his fusion period, I believe. It was this and In a Silent Way. Miles in the Sky. This is on this MoFi SACD. Another MoFi SACD ESP. I have another version of this, I think, in the stack somewhere from a different manufacturer. This is from MoFi. Miles Davis ESP. One of the greatest jazz albums of all time, Mingus It's simply a spectacular album, it is. Miles Davis, Kinda Blue, the MoFi version. I have several versions of this as well. One of the greatest jazz fusion groups of all time. This is Weather Report on multi-channel SACD, Mysterious Traveler. Nefertiti by Brother Miles Davis. This is a MoFi issue. Now this one is a SHM SACD. It features Bill Evans, and I believe his name is Jeremy Steig or Stieg. Please forgive me, I'm mispronouncing his name. But they have a fabulous version on this SACD of the love theme from Spartacus, and it sounds great. I think I heard this many years ago. Not on SACD, but I heard, you know, on CD and on album of that issue. Their version of, like I said, the love theme from Spartacus is great. But this is SACD by Cannonball Adderley. This was a swap meet find. Billie Holiday, Lady in Satin. This was, I think, reissued on 45 RPM LP by Analog Productions, which I'm going to get at some point. But this is the multi-channel SACD version of the album. Gershwin's World by Brother Herbie Hancock. Monk's Dream, Thelonious Monk. MoFi issue. Miles Davis at Fillmore West. This was a Sony Columbia issue, I believe. Another Miles Davis Sony Columbia issue, I believe. This is Miles in the Sky. Multi-channel SACD. The Sorcerer by Miles Davis. This is a SACD that features Ray Brown Trio live with Gene Harris and Jeff Hamilton. A multi-channel SACD. I know some don't like multi-channel sound, but I do love multi-channel sound. It sounds fabulous. When I first got into SACD, I was listening to it a lot. My room is currently not set up for multi-channel SACD, but I can easily do it. Virtuoso by Joe Pass. It's one of the greatest jazz fusion albums of all time, a multi-channel version of Herbie Hancock's Headhunters. Time Out, featuring Take 5 by Dave Brubeck. Miles Smiles, I think I showed the Mo-Fi version of that. This is a Sony version of it, or Columbia version of it. This is a SHM SACD. This is Pat Metheny. Name of the album is Bright Size Life. Again, this is on SHM SACD. Here's another SHM SACD, ballads, John Coltrane, featuring Brother McCoy Tyner on piano, Jimmy Garrison, Elvin Jones. This is Keith Jarrett Standards with Gary Peacock, Jack DeJohnette. This is volume 1. I believe I have volume 2 in a stack somewhere. And one of the greatest albums ever, one of my favorite albums ever. This is the SHM SACD, the Cone Concert. This is the greatest solo jazz piano performance ever, I think, in my opinion. Just a personal opinion. This is on SHM SACD. And this is a volume 2, Keith Jarrett Standards, Gary Peacock, Jack DeJohnette on SHM SACD. Miles Davis, Someday My Prince Will Come on SACD. Miles Davis ESP on SACD. This is a SACD. It's called 4 Generations of Miles, and it features George Coleman, Mike Stern, Ron Carter, and Brother Jimmy Cobb on SACD. One of my favorite fusion albums of all time. This is a SHM SACD, Pat Metheny off-ramp. And this is the very famous Gets Gilberto album on SACD. Miles Davis, Sketches of Spain. It's issued by Columbia CBS, I believe, or Sony. And this one, John Coltrane, Johnny Hartman on SACD. Another Mo-Fi CD, Miles Davis, Porgy and Bess. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers on SHM SACD. It's another SHM SACD, Pat Metheny Group Travels. This is a great fusion SHM SACD. It's Chick Corea and Return to Forever. And we have Gary Burton, Chick Corea, Crystal Silence. I believe I have this on the original album of this. I might have to do a comparison between this and the original album. Pat Metheny again, Lyle Mays, great keyboard player, Pat Metheny. The last one is a multi-channel version, one of the greatest albums and one of the greatest jazz albums of all time. Is a multi-channel SACD, Kinda Blue by Miles Davis, issued by Sony Legacy. But those are my SACDs and SHM SACDs. And I think this is one of the earlier ones, one of the first ones I purchased, I believe. This one right here. And I listened to this in a multi-channel format, and I was blown away because this was the first one I've heard on multi-channel format. It was probably like 23 years ago, somewhere around that time frame. And ever since then, I loved SACDs. I don't buy them as much as I should. I think I'm going to buy more in the year 2024, hopefully starting with Steely Dan's Asia when it's issued by Analog Productions. I'm anxious, I should say, to hear Steely Dan's Asia on SACD, even though it's not technically a jazz record, but it's, you know, jazz influence. But and I love to compare that to the UHQR version, the SACD versus the UHQR. See how that shootout goes. But thank you very much for viewing my video. If you have some favorite jazz SACDs, please leave that in the comment section below. Thank you for viewing my video. God bless, strong love, and keep the peace worldwide.